Good Thursday evening. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Wanted to give a quick update on the snow. I've been super busy all day, didn't have a chance to do this. This is going to be super brief, but I just wanted to give you a quick update. Here's a look at the latest model run for several of the models, not every run, but here's a look just because it gives you an idea of what's going on. Of course, really yesterday models began to show a southward trend. And it's really kind of hard to argue with it because it's become so dominant. So here's what the GFS or the Euro spits out for tonight. Basically a dusting northern Madison County to maybe an inch in southern. The GFS is even more stingy with that than that, with basically the entire county getting very little. The HRRR is half inch to maybe 1.5 inches. The icon, again, very stingy like the GFS. The NAM is usually a little bit aggressive. It also is about 1/2 inch to maybe an inch across the county. The NAM 3K, the high resolution, it gives us almost nothing. And the RRFS gives us almost nothing. And the UK Met gives us, somewhere around an inch. So it's basically tonight's snowfall amounts to a dusting to maybe 2 inches if we get, a little bit of a heavy cell, but for the most part, a dusting to an inch is what every single piece of data has for tonight. So that said, we turn our eyes to, so again, impacts in the morning on schools look to be negligible unless something really shifts with this storm track. So our attention then turns to the system on Saturday. This is total snowfall tonight and Saturday, but keeping in mind that no model has us having any more than an inch tonight. We're looking at the Euro would put down about 3 inches Saturday. Same for the GFS, about 3 inches. The icon goes more like 4 or 5 because the icon really didn't give us much. Actually, the GFS didn't give us much, so it's closer to 4 inches. The NAM also about 4 inches for Saturday. The NAM or the RRFS is actually much more aggressive because it gave us almost nothing. Now it gives us about 5 or 6 inches on Saturday. The UK Met, very aggressive, also 5 or 6 inches on Saturday. So you can see it's looking like Saturday is the producer. I mentioned in my video yesterday that if one of these was going to overproduce, it would be Saturday because of the frigid air moving in. It tends to squeeze every bit of moisture that it can out of the atmosphere. So while tonight's snow is looking like not a whole lot at this point, Saturday's snow is still on track to be pretty good. It's a lot flatter storm track than what the one tonight is. And so, again, with the frigid air moving in, Saturday is looking like a solid probably 2 to 4, 3 to 5 inch snowfall at this point. But again, this could always change by tomorrow, so we'll see how it looks tomorrow. So again, tonight's impacts looking minimal, very little. Probably not anything that's going to impact our travel too much tomorrow, although I would still watch out for some icy bridges and things because sometimes these low events actually make things more slick than if you actually had a decent snow. And then Saturday, during the day, Saturday is looking much more impactful. Behind that snow, our attention turns to the frigid temperatures. These are wind chills. For Sunday morning, we could see wind chills in the negative mid-teens. So we could be anywhere from somewhere around 10 to 15 degrees below zero wind chills Sunday morning with an absolute temperature around or maybe slightly below zero. And then as we get into Monday, it'll be slightly somewhat warmer, so to speak, but still, we'd be looking at wind chills at 5 to 10 below zero with an absolute air temperature around zero. So expect some delays Monday morning for wind chills and for the frigid temperatures. Last thing I'm going to look at is the alleged Christmas torch that's coming. A lot of times when we have these really cold shots, we'll get a quick rebound right afterward. But I wanted to show you the hazards of watching these models this far out. So here's the GFS. Let's play a little GFS roulette here. This is the last several runs going back 2 days on what what the GFS's high temperature is for Christmas Eve. So a couple of days ago, it had us at 55 on Christmas Eve. Next run was 50. Next run was 62. Then all of a sudden it was 32. Then it was 35. Then it was 37. Then it was back to 63. Then it was back to 35. Then it was back to 62. Then up all the way up to 69, which would be a record. And then the latest one is at 55. So this just shows you there is so much uncertainty. I don't think we're going to be in the 50s and 60s on Christmas Eve and Christmas. That said, in my personal opinion, if we're not going to have snow, then it might as well be warm. But I just want to caution you, if you're seeing these pages that are putting things out, especially when you see something like this where it has a Indianapolis, Muncie, Bloomington all at 69 degrees on Christmas Eve, just buyer beware. We've been right at that a couple of times, but buyer beware this far out. So we'll see how Christmas pans out as it gets a little bit closer, but I just wanted to show you the insane swings that are happening just within the one model that far out. So we'll see how Christmas develops. First, we got to get past the next couple of days. It's hard enough to pin the things down in 2 or 3 days, let alone 2 weeks. So this is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates, and I will update you again tomorrow. Thanks.